Hello and welcome to Charlie's Creative Corner. I'm glad you came by today. It has been a while since I've done a video, but it has been a crazy last few days. And, my cat broke his arm. So it's been a lot of recovery time and things like that. He's hanging in there. He's antsy. He wants to get out of his carrier and, well, I guess you'd call it like a cage. We had to go out and buy him a big old dog crate to stay in because he's got to be in there for like 3 weeks, which is a really long time for a little kitty to be stuck inside a little area like that. It seems terrible. It seems cruel, but we don't want him jumping up onto things and hurting himself. He broke the upper part of his arm and they had to put a pin in there. So the pin is kind of sticking out. Hang on, I'll show him to you. Okay. There's Shady. There he is. Can you say hi to everybody? Hi. He's hanging in there. I don't know if I can show you his injury. Oh, you can kind of see it there, the pin sticking out there. Like, what's up, buddy? You can see it about right there. What you doing? He's looking better than I thought he would be. He lost some weight when he was in there with the doctors. Or the vet, I should say. So we had to get this big old crate thing here, and he is going to be spending the next 3 weeks or so stuck inside of here. So send him some kitty love so he can heal fast. We want to get him healed up. I know he's about fed up with hanging out in this darn tiny, look how tiny that is for such a big cat. Because he is a big kitty. Yeah. It's a big boy. We're going to get him better, though. And that is his setup right now, poor thing. So if you got something going on, just remember, can always be worse, right? Let me turn you guys back around here. Okay, so that's his situation there. Kind of depressing. Really depressing, actually. I feel really bad for him, but he will get through it. He's doing good. I let him out maybe, I don't think I'm supposed to, but every once in a while I let him out for a couple minutes just to kind of walk around and move because he is getting really kind of restless. So we had a big week, dealing with a lot of that, going in and out of the vets, taking care of him, getting everything set up. So it's been a monster. I have been beading, but it's more just, I didn't do any videos. It was more just kind of to relax and get my mind off things and kind of free up some thoughts because there's been a lot going on and I needed a little bit of relaxed time. But I can show you what I've been working on. I got a book for beaded bags, or what they call it, beaded treasure purses is what they call them. I don't know if that's what they're really supposed to be called. But I started one, and it's a brick stitch. And it's basically like a tubular brick stitch. And you start working around and around and around and around until you get up to the top. And then you can add a necklace piece and fringe at the bottom and other little things that you want to add to it. And that's what I have on this one. And I liked it, but it was a little too boring. It's all this white. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do my own design. So I sat down and drew up my own design. I wasn't quite sure what to do for a design. And I thought a lot about it, and I experimented around with a few little different things here and there. And I actually went with a crane, and I'm just going to briefly show you this because I haven't finished the bag yet, but I'll show you this is the pattern. So I drew up a pattern for a crane. And then I've been working on it a little bit. I got a little bit of it done. I started it last night. And I only have just a little bit done. You can kind of see its feet and its belly coming in and a little bit of the river there. And then I decided to go with light blue on the back of the purse. And we'll see how this turns out. If it turns out really nice and I like it, then I think I might draw up a pattern that we can all do together. And I thought that'd be kind of fun. Maybe something a little smaller, maybe something like half that size so it doesn't take so long. But you can put little, I don't know, little stones in it and stuff, but it's a little, for a little necklace, and it hangs down. And I was really excited about this pattern. I'm really excited to see this pattern get done because I love the pattern. It took me forever. Brick stitch is not the easiest thing to draw up because it's like peyote stitch and it zigzags. It's like that, you know. So it's kind of a hard thing to do any kind of like circular patterns. It's hard to make a pattern on. It's not an easy thing to do. So if I can come up with a different pattern on that, I will, for us to do, I will do that. And I'll show you when I get my crane done. But I wanted to do a sandhill crane because we did, in all the midst of all this chaos, we did go out and see the cranes. And it was really just phenomenal. It was beautiful. I loved every second of it. You know, we aren't close to them because we didn't get a hide. And I don't even know if they're doing that with the pandemic and everything. I don't know if they're even renting out hides to see them. But we went out to the bridge and saw thousands of cranes, a lot of them flying by. The sound of them was amazing. It's like I told my husband, I said, it's like millions of little sounds creating one big sound. And it's just very phenomenal. Until you personally experience, you don't quite understand what you're missing. It's, I've experienced it before, but I was a lot younger. And so as I'm older, I appreciate it way more. And, you know, we got there kind of early because you want to get there at like dusk, basically. And then they all come in to the river. They fly into the river to roost at night on the sandbars. Pardon me. And so we got there a little early, about an hour early. So we kind of walked around and just the river was really dry in one spot, and there's like a place on the bridge where you can walk down to the river. So we walked down there and we walked a ways down the river and just kind of enjoyed it. And, you know, there are other birds and things to look at. So I picked up a cool rock and brought it home. I was hoping to find like something cool to bring home. And I always try and do that every time I go out. When I walk, I try to bring home something from my walk. And I found a really cool rock and brought it home. I might beat around it, make a necklace out of it or something. I don't know, probably not, but I have it. I have a little rock collection anyway. But when they all start coming in at night, it's just this like, it looks like basically like giant clouds of birds. It's just a cloud of birds all over, just making these crazy prehistoric sounds and like coming in. And there were quite a few people there, more than I thought. There were a couple dogs, which I didn't think was appropriate, but they were quiet, so that's a good thing. But they shouldn't bring their animals. It's going to scare them. It's going to scare the birds. But, you know, there was a lot of action going on. I think we were a little far away. We didn't go to the actual sanctuary, and we did find a couple of places that are like park-in views for during the day, because during the day they go out into the field to eat, and like they eat up all the leftover grain and things that are in the fields. And so I think we might check some of those out, and then there are about 2 or 3 more places that we can go and view them either at sunrise or sunset, depending on what we want to do. So we're going to go out again. The weather has been awful. It's been pouring rain for like almost 2 days straight, and it's cold. It's not good birding weather. So maybe here soon we can go back out, maybe in the next couple days, and kind of check things out. 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call real quick. But anyway, yeah, it was a lot of fun to go out and check out the cranes. It was really cool. We're going to try and get out and do some more. Josh did get some, or my husband did get some really good pictures of them flying over that were really beautiful, but he wants to get some more. So maybe he'll let me share some of those with you guys later on down the road. But as far as today goes, I'm going to try and keep it simple. It probably won't be. I always say that. I'm like, oh, it's going to be simple, but it never is. So, you know, or short, I should say, but I don't care. It's a gloomy day. I got the day off. I'm just going to sit and bead today. So it's not a big deal to me. But so today you can see I'm wearing this necklace here and these earrings, and I thought we would work on those today. They're a 2-point earring. I don't know if you can see them. Here, I'll take it out. It's a 2-point earring, and it's got a little flower. Where's my, there we go. And it's got a little flower on there. Okay, and it's made with bugle beads and seed beads. And then the necklace, I can find my ear again. The necklace is just, probably can't really see the detail, but it's got those points on there, and it's bugle beads with little X's and bugle beads and little X's. And it's a beautiful, beautiful little set. It's kind of fancy for just a sweatshirt, but I wanted to wear it today because I think it's so pretty. And I wanted to make another one because I like it so much. And it's typical stuff. It's easy bead weaving things. I think someone a little beyond a beginner could probably do the set. And it's a really nice set to have. It'd be something really nice to wear somewhere pretty or somewhere fancy, because it is kind of fancy looking. So it's more of a delicate pattern, I would say. So I thought we would work on those today, and not much else going on. Maybe I can get those bags, maybe a new bag drawn up, a new design or something, and we can work on a little pendant bag together or something, a little brick stitch one. And that one's really fun to make. They are time consuming though, so I don't know how far we'd be able to get on something like that, but we can try it out. But I just kind of wanted to update everybody, let you know what was going on, and that I am still here beading. So I'm going to get you all turned around, and we will get going on our necklace and earrings that we're going to make here. So get you turned around here. So I think we're going to do the earrings first. So first of all, you're going to need a size 11 beading needle here. One of those. You're going to need some size 0 nymo thread. You want it thin and you want it strong, so a thin nylon thread. You're going to need your beeswax. You're going to need earring findings, obviously. We're going to do the earrings first, so we'll need earring findings. You're going to need some kind of scissors to cut everything with. You're going to need your jewelry pliers for your earring findings to put those on, okay? And that's what tools we're going to need. Now, as far as our beading or our beads go, what we're going to need for our beads is we're going to need a bugle bead. And I'm using a size 3, and I'm using the crystal today. It's kind of a silvery crystal color, really pretty. And I'm using a size 3, okay? So any kind of size 3 bugle beads, okay? And then I'm also going to be using size 11 seed beads in 4 colors. And the colors that I picked are turquoise, and then I picked the metallic turquoise to go along with that. And then I picked the iris sphinx color because I really kind of like that grayish, blackish, shiny color to that. And I also went with silver. And those are the 4 colors I'm doing for this one. Trying to remember the colors I used for the ones I'm wearing. The ones I'm wearing, I believe I used a black number 3 bugle bead. I used this sphinx color. I used white, I used silver, and I also used a matte black, and those were I believe those were the colors that I used for the one I'm wearing. So, and we will get our thread going here. I'm going to put some of these out for us so we have them ready to go. And the colors are going to be the same for the necklace, unless you want to do a different color, but I don't know. Oh, I haven't opened these yet. That's the issue. I was like, what is going on here? That took a while to get these open. Let's see if I can get this tape off of here. There we go. Okay. So we're going to need some bugle beads. I'll lay some of those out. Probably won't need that many, but we'll have them if we do. And we're going to need some turquoise. And you can use any colors that you want, but I thought these would look really nice with the pattern. So there's a metallic turquoise. I love that metallic turquoise. It's so beautiful. And our sphinx color. And there's silver. I'm just going to put that over here. So we got our beads laid out there. Now, we'll get our thread going. As far as our thread goes, I'm going to do a wingspan from one hand to the other and open our wings, spread our wings. And then I'm also going to do an arm span along with that. That's probably way too much. Actually, I'm going to take that down a little bit. I know I don't need that much. So I do like a wingspan and maybe like another tiny bit, just another little bit to it. There we go. Now I'm going to kind of give him a little tug and get the crimp from the bobbin out of the thread. Now you're going to want to beeswax these really, really well, because I did run into the issue of it breaking, my thread breaking from the bugle beads with the one I'm wearing now. So you're going to want to use a double coat of beeswax on here. Just like that. Here we go. And we'll thread up our needle here. And these aren't that difficult to do, so this should be fun for you guys. I liked them so much, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a video and I am going to make another pair. Whoops, up into you there. And then you want to leave a gap at the bottom from your tail, like that. Now, what you want to do is we're going to need 4 beads for our base. And so I'm going to take 4 beads here, and I'm going to make sure that they're even and uniform, because you want them to be nice and uniform. Let me bring this in. Bring in. There we go. And those look pretty good to me. Alrighty, so what you want to do is you want to pick up 2 of your bugle beads and put them on your needle. So you need 2 bugle beads and bring them down. And you want to leave at least a 6-inch tail. Okay, I'll leave a little tail for them. And then you want to pick up your needle and come up through the first bugle bead. Just like that. That. Here we go. So we'll have our first 2 loaded. And then what we want want to do is we want to bring it down back through the second bugle bead. You're going to have something like that there. Okay, and now we want to pick up our third bugle bead. And we want to bring that, because our thread's coming out of the bottom here, we want to bring that through the top. And the key with this whole pattern, necklace, earrings, whichever you're making, is to not pull your thread too taut. You want to be gentle with this. And so you bring that through, and then you want to come back up that last bugle bead you just threaded. Like so. And it helps to hold on to it. Make sure it's lining up nice. And so we have our 3. See if I can bring you in a little bit more. There we go. Now, we want to pick up our last bugle bead here, our 4th bugle bead. And then our thread's coming out of the top. So we want to bring it up through the bottom and pull through and not get caught up on all the stuff on my desk. Like that. And then we want to come back down through that. Okay. And so you're going to have your 4 bugle beads. You got your tail over here, and then this is your thread on this side. Okay. Now you want to go back through all 4 of these to add a little additional strength to your bugles. So come back, see your thread's coming down out of this one. You want to go up through from the bottom up of the next one. And then your thread will be coming out of the top. And so you want to bring it down from the top through to the bottom. A little shaky today. Like that. Pull it down through. And then your last one. Well, son of a gun. I gotta move this stuff. I'm getting caught up in my things. There we go. Okay. And then our last one. You see your tail here. Okay. And then your thread, if I don't stop dropping it, is right next to it. And so you want to bring your needle up from the bottom to that last one. And through. And so your thread will be coming up out of the top. Like that. So this is your tail here. And then this is your thread up here. Okay? Now, all right, now that we have our foundation set up here, what we want to do is we want to start adding, we're just going to add a few beads up here at the top so we can put a hoop for our findings. So we're going to need a metallic turquoise, a regular turquoise, and a metallic turquoise. Oh, I don't know if you can see those. And so starting with the metallic turquoise, pick one up, and then you got your, oh, we're going to have focus issues today. It is a cloudy, crappy day for, there we go. Oh, nice. For filming. So you want to pick up your metallic turquoise, and then you stick your needle up underneath that first bridge here. Come on. Right here. And then just go through like that, and then bring your needle through that bead and pull through like so. And that's our first seed bead. Then we pick up our turquoise, our opaque turquoise, stick it underneath that second bridge. Bring the needle through. Try not to get tangled in our tail. There we go. And back up through the turquoise bead. Like that. And then pick up the metallic turquoise bead and stick it up underneath that bridge. Pull through and come up through that metallic turquoise bead. And there we have our 3 seed beads on there. Okay. Now we need to add our hoop for our, what do you call it? Our findings. Derp. So what we want to do is we want to take our work. You see our tail's coming out of this left side here and our thread's coming out of the right. You want to flip your work over so your thread's coming out of the left side. Then we want to pick up 6 turquoise beads. Pick them all up. 1, 2, 3. I can't see it too well. 4, 5, 6. So pick up your 6 turquoise bead, just like that. And then you want to bring that down through this first seed bead, just like that. Or I'm sorry, last. I guess it's technically the first, but we flipped our work over. So pick them all up and then stick it through that final metallic turquoise seed bead and pull through. And that's going to create our little hoop at the top for our earring finding. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm debating on if I'm reinforcing that. To be honest, I don't believe that I did last time, because what I did was go down this bugle bead here, right below where you just came out. So you want to go down that bugle bead there. Oops, I got wrapped up here. Hang on. There we go. Just like that. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we want to connect this bugle bead with this bugle bead and make it more like a square or a circle, I guess you would call it. Pardon me. Now watch out for your tail here. Make sure your tail isn't in your way, and make sure that your hoop up here is staying nice and tight. Okay. Now flip your work over and come up through that first bugle bead, and only the bugle bead, okay? Because we're going to connect these and we're going to make them fold into each other like that. Okay, and then you just want to go back and forth between these a couple times to kind of make sure it's secure. So you want to go through that one, back up through this one, and make sure you're only going through the bugle beads. You don't have to go through the seed beads too. And keep that tail out of the way too. It's going to kind of be a pain. Bring it up through. Now this is our first bugle bead. We always know because our tail's coming out of it. And we'll go down to where we're coming out of that last, or that first bugle bead where the tail's coming out right here. And that should be plenty of rounds through there. You don't want to go too many because we're going to have to come back up through this here. Whoops, I missed my, and make sure, like, see here, I got kind of wrapped up in the front. And make sure you don't do that. Make sure it's going behind it when you're pulling through. Like that. Okay, so now this is technically our first, it's not technically, it is our first bugle bead because that's where our thread, our tail is coming out of, but also our thread is coming out of that bugle bead too, okay? So we got our foundation here. That's what, you should have something that looks like that. Here we go. Now we're gonna make our point. I like to get the thread out of the way, or the tail out of the way, before I do fringe. But I'm not gonna, we're gonna get that tail out of the way real quick before we start our fringe. So I'm gonna take my needle off my thread and I'm gonna put it onto my tail, just like that. Easy enough. And then we're gonna bring our tail up through a bugle bead like that, and I'm going to bring it up to this, I don't know, second turquoise bead like that, and I'm just going to put a little knot in there, and we're going to get rid of this tail because it is in the way. Go. And then I like to bring it through. Oops, I dropped my needle off of there. And I'm just going to bring it through a couple of these and snip it. And then our tail will be out of the way. It's always best to have it out of the way because it can really get tangled up in your fringe as you do it. Okay, so let's reattach our thread to our needle here. Here we go. I think I might have made my thread too long, but that's okay. It's better to have than have not, right? All right, so now our thread is coming out of our first bugle here, right here. And what we want to do is we want to thread on 3 metallic turquoise. 1, 2, 3. 3 metallic turquoise, 1 iris sphinx. I'm just going to call that the sphinx if that's okay. 1 silver, like that. 1 bugle bead, like that. Okay, and then we want to do another silver. And we want to do 3 more metallic turquoise. 1, 2, 3, like so. And then we want to do a sphinx bead. 3 more metallic turquoise, and a silver, okay, and then we want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turquoise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turquoise, and 1 metallic turquoise, like that. Okay, so bring it down and go through it with you again. So 3 metallic turquoise. Oops, I'm not really in view here. 3 metallic turquoise, a sphinx bead, a silver, a bugle bead, a silver, 3 metallic turquoise, a sphinx bead, 3 metallic turquoise, a silver, 5 regular turquoise, and a metallic turquoise bead. Okay. Now this is a little bit different than what you normally would do with fringes, but you want to kind of push those up, and then you take your needle, you want to skip that metallic turquoise on the bottom and go through the turquoise above it. Okay, no other beads, just those. Just skip the one and just go through the one. Do not go through any others. Okay, like that. Okay, and then your thread, this is gonna be coming out of this turquoise bead. So you skipped this one and you went through this one, and so your thread's coming out of that one right there. Okay, now we're going to string the other side. So we're going to string 4 turquoise, 1, 2, 3, 4 turquoise, and a bugle, I'm sorry, I missed a bugle bead. That's my issue. OMG. I missed a bugle bead in here. I am so sorry. That's my bad. It's so easy to make mistakes sometimes. So for me, when I fix my mistakes, I just take my needle off. I know it's a pain in the bum. I'm glad I double checked. That's why you double check. Always, 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 always double check your work, and especially when you're doing fringe. Always count your stuff and make sure. So I'm going to double check myself here. So we have 3. That's where I missed it. We got to take off these 5 turquoise. I'm sorry. Like I said, it's been a long week. I was going to do a video today, but I was like, man, I really should, because it just doesn't seem right leaving it hanging for so long. And I think I'm playing the heat war with my husband because he keeps turning the heater up and I am like roasting. So we have 3 metallic turquoise, a sphinx bead silver, bugle bead silver, 3 metallic turquoise, a sphinx bead, 3 metallic turquoise, a silver, okay, and now a bugle bead. Okay, so put on that bugle bead. I thought it looked funny. Okay, now we want to add our 5 turquoise. At least this way we can see how we did it again. And our 5 turquoise and our metallic turquoise. And we're gonna bring it on down, skip that metallic turquoise, go through that very last regular turquoise bead, and that bead only, no other beads, and pull through. And you can tighten it and adjust it just by holding on to that metallic turquoise one. There we go, just like that. I have to go turn this heat down. Alrighty. What, buddy? Talking to Mama. Now, we have to string our other point, or our other side to our point. So, we want to pick up 4 turquoise, and then we're going to mirror this side here. So, a bugle bead. And always double check your bugle beads, make sure none of them are cracked or broken. A silver, 3 metallic turquoise, a sphinx bead, three metallic turquoise, a silver, a bugle bead, whoops, a silver, a sphinx, and 3 metallic turquoise. Like that. And that's going to be our point. So we have to make sure that when we're going up, you want to make sure this is the back. See, this is the back here. We're coming out of this one, so we want to go into the one next to that. Only go through the bugle, just like that. Okay. And pull it up through. So you're going to have something that looks like that. Okay. Now, what we need to do is we're going to add our little flower that's in between. And this is quite simple. All you got to do is you got to go through the first part, the first bead that we went through originally, because we're coming up out of here. So we want to go next door to this guy and come back down. When we go down, we want to go down all of these. Let's see if I can hold this in my hand and do it. I don't know. I want to come down. Make sure not to miss any. We're going to go all the way down until we get to past that second bugle bead. Okay. And then we want to get through so you go all the way down until you get to these last few turquoise. And then you just go through those first 2 next to the bugle bead. Come on, focus. Like that. So avoid the last 3 there. Only go through these first 2. Okay? So all the way down that arm of fringe until you get through these 2 next to this last bugle bead on the fringe. The camera is not cooperating. It's trying. So like that, I'm going to kind of give my other one a pull just to tighten it. And this one works way better if you lay it down. Okay. So you should be coming out of See, this is the back of your earring. The front has the 3 little spots, or 3 little beads at the top. So the back, and you should be coming out of not this one, but the second turquoise bead. Okay. Now we need to string 3 beads, and we're going to string a silver, a metallic turquoise, and a silver. And we're going to bring that down. So we're going to have that down there next to all that. And so we want to, on the other side, not where our thread's coming through, but on the other side, you want to go through the second turquoise bead. Okay? Gotta go through that second one. And then kind of give it a little tug, like so. And it'll look a little wonky at first. It'll even out. And now we want to string another silver bead. And so we have our 3 beads kind of cradled down here at the bottom. So we pick up a silver bead, and we want to go through the center metallic turquoise bead of that little flower or bow or whatever you want to call it. So you have that there. You want to go through that center metallic turquoise bead. It's like that. Okay, and it'll look kind of weird at first. It'll take its shape. And then we want to do that again. We want to pick up another silver bead. But this time we want to go up. So on the other side across from it, you see your threads right here. And we just went through all that. We just went through that metallic bead there. Now we want to go up and through that first turquoise bead right next to it. Okay. And give it a little tug. I would tug in a downward direction instead of up by this bugle bead where it could cut your thread. So there, I'm going to flip it over to where it's facing the front. So this is the front. And I want to make sure that that is going to pop out towards the front instead of the back, because it is a little 3-dimensional when you do it. And you give it a nice secure tug. Okay. And so that's what you're going to get at the bottom of that. You're going to get that kind of little bow or flower design. Okay. That's what you're going to have. Now you want to go up through your fringe on that side where your thread's coming through. You want to get back up to that foundation and make sure you get all the beads. Don't skip any beads. And go up through the foundation bugle bead also. It's hard not to get that seed bead in there with it. There we go. And pull through. Excuse me. Okay, so we got our first one done. I really like those turquoise. That's really pretty. So now we need to bring our thread. Let's see. We need to bring it through that one, that bugle bead in front. So your thread's coming out here, and you want it to be going down out of one of the front bugle beads. Like that. So bring your thread down that bugle bead. Okay. There we go. Now this one's a little bit easier because it's not as much beads to it. So we want to string 3 metallic turquoise beads. 1, 2, 3. And we want to string a sphinx bead. And then 3 more metallic turquoise. 1, 2, 3. And a silver. Okay. And then we want to string a bugle bead. And then we want to string 5 turquoise beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a metallic turquoise. And this is the same steps, just with the smaller fringe on the center piece. This is going to be overlapping the one we just did. So what you want to do, kind of sliding away from you, sorry. Bring that down to where it's touching the bugle bead. And then you want to come up through, skip this bottom bead here, this bottom metallic turquoise bead, and go up through the bead above it, just like we did in the other one, with the other one. And pull it through, just like that. And I like to adjust it. There we go. And now we need to string our other side. So we're going to want to do 4 turquoise. 1, 2, 3, 4. For 4 turquoise and a bugle bead. And then we want to do a silver, 3 metallic turquoise, maybe, there we go, a sphinx bead, and 3 more metallic turquoise, just like that. And bring it through. And see, that's going to overlap that other one like that. So we want to bring that into the bugle bead next to the one we came out of. Like that. And pull it through. Like that. And so now we have that. Okay, and now we need to add our little flower at the tip. So we're going to come back down into the neighboring bugle bead and come back down in this one next to it and come through all of these beads here on the side until we get down and past that second bead. It's kind of a bad angle, but you want to be coming out of the second bead below the bugle bead. Okay, I'm going to give my stuff a kind of a tug. So like that, and then pull through like that. Make sure that when you pull through on this front that you're not, still focus, that your thread isn't landing on this seed bead. See how mine did that, where the thread kind of landed on top of that bead? So kind of bring that down and just give it a tug. Just make sure your thread isn't coming over this part. You want it to be coming just in between these two beads. Now we want to string our 3, and that was a silver, a turquoise, a metallic turquoise, and another silver. And then, like we did on the last one, we're going to come up and through. You have your bugle bead here, and then the 2 turquoise, you want to go into that second one. Like that. Okay? And then pull through. Okay, there's our first little part of our flower. Then we're going to pick up a silver bead, and we're going to stick that through that metallic turquoise bead in the center of the flower. Okay, and then we need to add one more petal to our flower here, so we need to pick up another silver bead, and then we're going to go up into the very first turquoise bead right below that bugle bead. That. And that's really important or it doesn't lay right. You want to make sure it's going through that first one. And give it a little tug and tighten it, and there's your little second point. Isn't it pretty? Now we need to come back up through our fringe here to the top so we can tie everything off. There we go. I got through that. And you kind of want to, as you do this, you want to make sure, see, this is the front with that one little bead. It's kind of three-dimensional. And kind of make sure that everything's laying pretty. That looks really pretty. Okay, what we'll do is kind of wind our thread in and out through things and tie a knot here and there and get it tied off and secure. So I'm going to bring it through those two and this one. And I'm going to do a double knot here. Like that. I'm going to come back through. Those three. Just like that. And then I'm going to give it a snip. All right. There we have our double point earring. How beautiful is that? Now we just need to put on our findings here. So get your finding and then your little pliers. Kind of twist it open and attach it to in between the 3 and 3. And so in between the 6, centered in between those 6 beads. Like that. And then I'm going to twist it back into place. Whoops. Like that. And give it a little pinch. And that is our double point earring there. What is going on with the camera? It just won't focus. Here, let me back out a little. See if that helps. So that's our double point earring. I am going to, you can, if you're obviously going to do 2, so you can go back and do your second one, but I am going to now show you how to do the necklace, which is it's kind of complicated, but it's so worth it there. So I really like the turquoise. I thought the black was pretty, but this is absolutely stunning. Love it. And then we will go from there. So that is our earring, and I will show you how to do the necklace here. All right, so we're going to start in on our necklace here, and you're going to need the exact same beads. So your silver, your sphinx colored, your metallic turquoise, and your regular turquoise and also your silver bugles. Now, we're going to need a lot more thread for this because it is a necklace. Now, if you do have to tie off and reattach more thread, that is completely 100% possible. What you do need is you need some findings. So we're going to get, I'm just using a spring ring here with an eyelet, and get one of those out. And then also my eyelet here. So we're going to need some kind of finding to attach our necklace together. So get that out of my way here. Now we're going to start off with getting our thread ready. So you're going to want, I'm going to do a wingspan, and then I'm going to do an arm span, and that is probably not going to get me through, but we will find out. So I'm going to just kind of tug and get rid of that excess curl on the thread there, like that. And I am going to give it a double beeswax run here. We're going to wax it up real good because of those bugle beads. I did have troubles with my last one a couple times. Hopefully that does not happen, and hopefully I didn't just jinx myself also. So we're going to give it a nice proper beeswax coat. It's going to need a good coat of that. Keep it nice and strong and give it some good protection against those bugles. And we're going to use the same exact needle that we were using before, our size 11 beading needle. I'm just going to thread up here. I can see. Maybe. My scissors are getting caught. We'll thread this up nice. There we go. And I'm going to pull it down so it's not too crazy. Okay, so now what we want to do is we're going to attach our clasp on one of the ends, just one of our clasps, or part of one of them. And we want to string, we're going to want to string 9 beads, but we have to get our clasp in between those two. So we're going to want to string, hang on, I'm looking at my colors here. We're going to want to string 4 silver. So 1, 2, 3, 4 silver, like that. Oh, let me come in a little bit. Sorry about that. And then we're going to want to add, it doesn't matter if you do the eyelet or whichever end you want to choose to do for your clasp. You want to put one of your clasps on there, and then you want to do 4 more silver. 2, 3, and 4. And then we need to add our metallic turquoise onto that, like that. Okay. We're going to bring that down to towards our tail. We're going to want to leave at least 6 inches of our tail. Now, you want to take that and you want to go back through all of that, all of it, everything, the clasp and all the beads. Let me try and do that again. I didn't have a good grip on that. Here we go. And we're going to make this a hoop. We're going to make this a circle. So bring that through all those beads like that and pull through. Bring in our stuff around and kind of pulling it tight. It will take its shape here. Oh, it's stuck in between. There we go. And so you're going to have a little something like that, okay? Now, we want to go through that again. Find my end. Okay, I'm on that end, so I'm going to have to go through this way. just to reinforce all of those beads. Like that. And through these. And then you want to come out of your turquoise bead there. Almost got it. Got one more here. I'll go through. And come out of the turquoise bead. Like that. Okay, so you're going to have something like this. Your tail's going to be sticking out here. That's fine. Just let it be. And then our thread is going to be coming out of that turquoise bead. Right there, like that, okay? Now what do you want to do? We're going to start stringing our beads on here. So what we want to do is we want to string. It's going to be a pattern. It's going to be kind of an easy pattern. It's not too difficult. So we want to do 4 silver beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 silver beads and a bugle bead and 4 more silver beads. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. So 4 silver, 1 bugle, and 4 silver. You want to take your needle and you see your turquoise bead here, your thread's coming out this way. You want to go in through the opposite direction and bring it through like that. And you're going to have a little something that looks like that. Hang on, my tail's trying to wrap up here. Here we go. Now, what you want to do is we have to reinforce this quite well because this is otherwise it's kind of flimsy. So we have to reinforce this quite well, and we want to bring everything, okay, we want to bring everything back through. We're going to partially do that for this first one, and then we're going to reinforce them a little bit better on the next. So you want to go through these 4 bugle beads here, or I'm sorry, 4 seed beads. I keep dropping it, I'm sorry, or twisting it. Where are we coming out of? Which direction? Okay, so we're coming out that direction. So you want to come through these 4 here. Across from there. There we go. Bring it back out through those 4 there. Like that. And then we're going to go up through the bugle bead. Right like that. Okay. And kind of give it a gentle little maneuver. Kind of make sure you're shaping it as you go along. Okay. And then we're going to add some bugle beads now. We're going to add 4 bugles. So here's 1, and you see your thread's coming up out of the top here. So we want to come up and through the top, or from the bottom through the top. We're going to bring that through like that. Okay. And you're going to have that. Now we want to bring our thread back down. And through that. So you have that. It's kind of similar to an earring. We want to add on another bugle. And we're going to bring that through the top because our thread's coming out of the bottom. It's just kind of like a brick stitch earring, but it's a necklace here, how you would begin one of those. And it'll sit snug with his little friend there. My tail keeps tangling. There we go. Like I said, just give it gentle tugs. Don't pull too hard or you're going to break your thread. And then it's going to be a stinker. And then you want to add one more. Okay. Bugle bead here. And you're coming out of the top, so you want to come down from the bottom and through the top. Just like that. And then we have to bring our thread back down through the bead we just put on. If I can get through it. There we go. And through there. Okay, and this is our first part of our pattern here. So there we go. We got that there. Now we're going to go through the last two bugle beads one more time just to strengthen it. So we're going to go up through the neighboring bugle bead like that. And then we're going to go back down that final bugle bead like that. Okay. Now we're going to thread 9 bugle beads, and we're going to need to thread the, let me check my pattern here. We need the 3 silver, so we need okay, so 3 silver, metallic turquoise, and I'm checking here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, sphinx bead. Oops, cut on my shirt. One of the sphinx beads, another metallic turquoise, and then 3 more silver. So 3 silver, 2 metallic turquoise, a sphinx bead, a metallic turquoise, and 3 silver. Okay, and then we're going to take our needle. Our thread's coming up or coming down out of this one here. We're going to take our needle and we're going to bring it through the top of that bugle bead and down, and just pull through. Yeah, I thought it was going to do that. My tail's getting, he wants to be part of the mix. There we go. And you're going to have a little kind of round, tail's getting in the way again, little hoop thing going on. Now we want to come back up through all of these beads again. We're just reinforcing our work. So bring it through. And like I said, don't pull too crazy taut because it could cut your thread with the bugle beads. And back through there. That, and then back down the bugle bead like that. Okay, whoops, it's kind of floppy. It's a little floppy. It's going to be a little bit loose, but that's okay. It's better than cutting your thread. Okay, and then you're going to come up and through that sphinx bead, that darker colored bead in the center. Okay, so come up and through that, just like that. Now, we need to thread on, whoops, 4 seed beads, a bugle bead, and 4 seed beads. So we're coming out of this hoop here. So we want a metallic, we're coming out of remember the sphinx bead here? So we want a metallic one here. So we need a metallic turquoise, like that. And we need 3 silver beads. 1, 2, 3. A bugle bead. 3 silver beads. 1, 2, 3, and a metallic turquoise bead. Just like that. Now what we're going to want to do, since we're coming up out of this blackish sphinx bead here, we're going to want to bring it up underneath that bead, that center bead, and bring it through. And see, that's going to create kind of an X color pattern in the center there. Just like that. Now, we want to come back up and through all these beads again, because we need to reinforce it. So, if I can hold on to it here, you kind of got to flip it around and work with it. Come back through all the beads. Pull on that a little bit. Come back through. Oops, I'm caught on my corner here. Just like that. And through again. We're just reinforcing our work. Make it nice and strong. And then we're going to come through again. All these beads. Like that. Just like so. And then back up through our bugle bead. There we go. And that's the first part of the pattern. And we're just going to keep repeating this all the way down. So we need to add 3 more bugle beads here. So we're going to pick up a bugle bead, stick it on the other end because our thread's coming out here. So we're going to stick it under here and bring it through like that. Come back down like so. We're going to add another one. Thread's coming out over here. We're going to come in over here and bring it through like that and come up through when we put on that. Okay, we need one more. Get up. Thread's coming out on this end, so we're going to come in on this end. Try to hold these and keep them kind of tight. I'm going to keep those bugle beads tight so they look nice. And then on our last one, remember, we kind of reinforced it by going through twice. So we're going to go down, through, back up through the other one. And back down through again. So there's our second bugle bead row. Like that. It goes really quick, actually. After a while, it goes pretty fast. So we'll do our X again. What we want to do is pick up 3 silver beads. 1, 2, 3. 1 turquoise bead, 1 sphinx bead, 1 turquoise bead, and 3 silver beads. Okay, and then we're gonna drop my work. Okay, then we're gonna take it through our bugle bead. Pull it through bring it back up through reinforcing everything. Back down through the bugle bead. And up through the sphinx bead. And then we're going to string a turquoise, 3 silver, a bugle bead, three silver, and a metallic turquoise. It's getting a little dark, so I know it's not looking too good there. It's trying. Okay, and then we're going to come back up and through our sphinx bead there. Bring it through, and that creates our second X, okay? We're going to come back through everything. Pull everything down all the way through, make sure we're reinforcing our work. Like that. We're getting there. Now, depending on the length that you want, I mean, you can make it, I made mine more kind of like a choker, or you can make it a little medium length. You could do 16, 18, 20 inches, however long that you want to make it. And I did not cover my whole necklace with the 2 drops or 2 points fringe. I only did, I want to say it was 8 of them. And we're just adding our 3 bugle beads here is all we're doing. One more. So we're going to have 4 for each one. So it's up to you however long you want to make it. I think they look pretty neat as chokers because they dangle nice that way. But at the same time, I think it kind of depends on the person. Some people don't like to wear chokers. So it's up to you however long you want to make it. And there's our 4 more bugle beads. And we'll come back through. There we go. And we'll do another X here. So 3 silver, metallic turquoise, sphinx bead, metallic turquoise, and 3 silver. Like that. And then we're going to come through our bugle bead. There we go. And we're going to go back through all of our work, reinforcing everything. back up through that sphinx bead. That. And we need a turquoise, metallic turquoise, 3 silver, bugle bead, 3 silver, and a metallic turquoise. And you come back on the other side of that bead, where your thread's coming out. Follow through like that, and then reinforce everything by going through everything once. Shade's back here snoring. He slept good today. And down through our bugle bead. Just like that. And then you just keep on doing this however long you want that necklace to be. Okay? So I'm going to continue working on this. And then, actually, let's see. We have, let me see how many I have till I can add my fringe. Okay, I'm going to go as far as adding the fringe. And then I will show you how to do that. And then we will call it good. So I will be right back. Okay, so I'm continuing to work on mine, and I was tying mine off, and I thought I'd show you guys how to tie off and start a new thread, because you will run out. You go through a lot of thread because of all the reinforcement that you do. So what I've already done is I've gone through this piece and gone through some beads here, and I put 2 knots here, and I'm just going to go through again. I like to make sure it's nice and secure. So I'm going to go through again, and then I'm going to go up and through some more of these bugle beads. Just go all the way down like you would normally, because I mean you want to make sure it's nice and secure, and that we aren't going to have issues with beads falling off or having the necklace break, which would be terrible. So I'm going to go back through, like, I don't know, these 3 beads here, pull it through, and then I'm going to double knot that. I just lift my needle up underneath. There's a thread there, and I'm just going to pull that through. Make sure you lay that knot proper right in between those beads, like that. And then I'm going to do that again, like that, and pull it through. And then I'm just going to go through, like, I don't know, like those 4 beads there, and I'm just going to pull that off of there, just like that. And so that's a good way to end your thread there. Now, while I'm over here doing this type of finishing little touches works, I'm not done yet. I still have a little ways to go. I'm going to put this tail somewhere out of the way. So I'm going to thread my tail onto my needle like that. Here we go. And I'm going to bring it through my work. I'm going to find a place to bring it through. I'm going to bring it through that and down through that. There. I'm going to put a knot there, because you want this tail nice and secure. And I'm going to do the same and bring it up through these beads. I'm going to bring it up through, and then I'm going to bring it through to this other side of this. I'm going to flip it. And I'm going to put it through a couple beads, and then I'm going to knot again. I think the camera's having a hard time because it's so reflective. I just lost my needle. And I think it's having a hard time picking up on things, which I didn't think of that, but boy, it does look pretty. Looks really pretty. And then I'll bring that up and through. And then I'm going to snip it. And so that way our tail is also out of the way. But we're getting there. I got a little ways. It's really pretty nice and reflective. I absolutely love it. So I'm getting there. I'm going to work a little bit further till I can get to the end because I need to show you guys how to finish the end. And then we will start attaching our fringe to our bugle beads. Okay? I will be right back. Oh, and before I do that, I will show you how to reattach some thread so that you can continue to work. I will be right back. Let me get my thread ready. Okay, so I got my thread all waxed up and threaded on the needle here. So to attach, you want to go somewhat close to where you've tied off. It doesn't matter what direction you're coming out of your bugle beads. I would recommend, if you can, to try and tie off to add on at the end of one of these X's with the bugle bead. It's the easiest way to get going again, I think. Any way you do it, it's not going to matter. You could, finish here on the X and then come through and come out and just add this. You know what I'm saying? You could do it anywhere. I wouldn't recommend doing it in the center of a bugle bead pattern here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring my needle through a couple of the beads like that. Just bring it all the way through a couple of those. And I kind of gave myself some long thread because I don't know how much we got going. And you don't need a very big tail because we're just going to cut that directly off. So I'm going to kind of fold that thread down and I'm going to add a knot right here. I'm going to do a double knot right there. And you want to make sure that your knot is landing right between that bead where it's coming out of, so it's not, no thread is showing that way. And then, so you can kind of pull on it a little bit, so be careful, it might pull all the way through. And then come back up through again and do a double knot like that, pull through and add another knot, and then I'm going to go through a couple beads, and then I'm going to double knot again. I want a couple double knots in there. I want to make sure that this is going to be secure, and then I'm going to double knot here. There's, I have one knot, bring that down a little. So one knot there, and I'm going to do one more. Pull it through, and then we can continue on beading here. I'm just going to bring that up through there. And down through my bugle. And that way I can just continue where I left off. And I'm going to cut the little tail here from the bead that I added. Always be careful not to cut your little threads in between or on the side, because your necklace will fall apart. And so that's a great way to get rid of your tail and start a new thread if you in an old thread and start a new thread if you need to. Now I'm going to continue, bump into you. I'm going to continue working on this, and then I will be back to show you how to attach the other end of your clasp and put on the fringe. All right, so I got my chain the length I want it. Now, depending on what you're doing with yours, it'll all vary. The number one thing to do that you have to do with these is you have to have you have to end your necklace chain with the 4 bugle beads. Okay, you have to end it there. So if you are like, oh, okay, that should be the perfect length, you also have to add in the length of the ends. So you already have this attached, obviously, but you're going to have to, like, if that's going to be, that extra ½ inch is going to be enough to set off your length, then you might have to reconsider the length that you're going to go with, because we're going to put one of these on the end here. So you have to, pardon me, you have to finish off your length of your chain with the set of 4 bugle beads. Now, there should be an odd number of bugle bead clusters, okay, and an even number of X's, okay, and that's important because of when, like up on this one, when we add our fringes to it, okay. Now, I'm going to show you how to end off the, or finish off the end here and make it look nice, and also how to add the other part of your jewelry findings. So, what we need to do, grab if I can get a hold of my stinking needle here. Let's see. Now what you need to do, you want to string on, we're going to string on 9 bugle beads like we did over here. And so we're going to do 4 silver, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 silver, 1 metallic turquoise, and 4 more silver. 3, 4, if I can grab it here. And then what you want to do is you just want to take, I know I'm kind of far away, I moved my lamp too here, so you want to take that, and you see your threads coming out of the top here, or bottom, whichever, just go through the opposite side of where your thread is coming out and bring that through there, just like that. And that's going to finish off that part there. Now what we're going to do, since we got, we went through there, we're going to want to reinforce that just like we did the other parts of the necklace. So we're going to go through and reinforce this here, just like we did on the others. Just going to go through. I know I'm a little bit far away, but try to come a little closer. It's just bringing the thread through. And this one does take a lot of thread because of all that reinforcement that we do with it. It requires a lot more thread than the others would. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to bring our thread back up through this turquoise bead. So we're going to come up through, up to that turquoise bead there, like that. And come up through that there. Now we're going to thread on our clasp. So we're going to do like what we did here. So what we want to do is we want to add 4 silver beads. 1, 2, 3, whoops, 4 silver beads. I'm going to bring in just a little bit. Our clasp, our other end of our clasp, and then 4 more silver beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. And then we're going to bring that through. Our thread's coming out of the top here of our turquoise. And then we're just going to bring that through on the other side of the turquoise bead. Focus. So just like that. And pull through. And that will center our clasp onto our necklace, okay? It's kind of hard to see. And I'm going to reinforce that 1 or 2 times, kind of depending on what you feel comfortable with. I'm just going to bring it back on through all these beads and the clasp 1 or 2 times. We want to make that nice and secure, because that's our necklace is going to hang from that, so it's going to take all the brute force of everything. And I can't recommend enough really layering on the beeswax with all the bugle beads involved. Bugles have a great tendency to really tear up the thread. So that extra beeswax is not going to hurt anything. If there's a little residue, that's not going to hurt anything, because it'll wear off over time, but it will also coat that thread really nice and make it nice and secure and strong. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to tie off. Whoops, what'd I do there? Here we go. And we're going to tie off our work. Bring it kind of through and in between things. And I'm just going to, I'm going to do a double knot here. It was funny, while I was working on my necklace, little Shade's over here just snoring away. He's about due for his medicine. He has to take a pain medicine every few hours. And I'm going to bring it through these beads here. Whoops. And I'm going to bring it up through this bugle, and I'm going to go on the other side and reinforce from the other side. He was really zonked out. It's really kind of a gloomy, cloudy, well, I can't really say it's a day anymore because I've been kind of working on this all day and other things, so it's kind of late now, but real gloomy, cloudy, rainy, misty, cold day out. And I think the kitties know, because they've just been sleeping all day. You know, with all that he's been through, he sure has been a good kitty. He sleeps good and he's just resting, and I feel so bad for him. So just awful what he's been through. I'm gonna bring that up through, and then we'll snip it off. Just like that. Grab my scissors here. And give it a snip. And that is our beaded chain. And we'll add our fringe now. That's really pretty with that silver. This is the prettiest chain. I absolutely love this chain. And the earrings, of course, look really great too. Now, what we want to do, I don't think that is not going to be enough thread. So I'm going to cut some more thread here and beeswax it up real good. And we will put on our little fringes here. I think I'm going to do like a wingspan. for this. So I can't remember how much I used last time, but I don't want to overdo it. So we will do a wingspan of that. I'm gonna get my little kinks out here. And I'm gonna do a really nice thick coat of beeswax on here, because it will not hurt anything to have that extra beeswax on here. And you know, I know some people don't use the beeswax, but I can't emphasize enough how important the beeswax is, especially if you're working with nymo thread and seed beads, and especially with the bugle beads. The bugle beads, I would really recommend it with the bugle beads, because they just cut right through the nymo. Now we're gonna thread our needle here, like so. Okay, and now we need to attach. Now, the key with our fringes here is you don't go all the way across. I mean, you could if you wanted, but I kind of like it to where the backs, like back here, are just chain, and it looks really cool with just a few fringes on there. Now, what I did with mine is I took my hands and I went one at a time. I went, okay, here's 2, 2, 2, kind of figuring out where my center would be, which would be this right here. So I know from the one I did that there are going to be 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 open on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to leave us 5, 6, 7, 8 fringes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you want to even those out to where they're going to be centered on the necklace. You don't want a fringe way over here. You know, you want it centered away from your clasp. So if I go over 5 and I want to start on my 6th, because we're going to attach the fringe to our bugle bead sections, okay? So if I move over, let me zoom in just a touch. So I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is my 5th one. I know I'm going to be attaching fringe to this 6th one here. So I'm going to attach my thread on the I'm going to call these X's, on the little X's on the one to the left of that, that's neighboring that set of bugle beads. I got to pick this up. And so I'm going to just bring my thread through like that. And I'm going to leave a tail there, because I'm going to just, it doesn't have to be too big of a tail, because I'm going to just cut that. I ain't going to weave that in. So I'm going to put a double knot right here. And always make sure that you're getting in between the beads where your thread's coming out. That, and I'm going to do that again. This is just attaching the thread so we can put on our fringes. Bring that over. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to go, caught up in things, up a little bit. I'm going to actually, where am I at here? I can't see. Okay, I'm trying. There we go. I'm going to go through those two. And I want to go down. We're going to want to go down through these bugle beads. So I'm going to go back up through here. And I'm going to do another double knot. just because I want this to be real secure. I don't want any chance of this coming apart on me. Not after all the work we've done. I want to make sure it's really secure. Do another knot. That. There we go. Now, I'm going to bring my needle through these two beads. Bring it through like that, and then down through this first bugle bead like so, and then back up through the second one. Now this is going to be attaching them upside down, but that is okay. It doesn't matter as long as we're getting them attached. There's no certain direction this chain should be. Okay, so I'm going to flip this because I'm coming out that way. I want to attach my fringe here to this thread. So you need to make sure you're coming out of the second bugle bead. Okay, because we're going to attach our fringe in the two middle bugle beads of our group of 4. I think that might be a little close. Now, so for our fringe here, this isn't very complicated. It's just like we did with the earrings, okay? I'm trying to get to my stuff here. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to add 3 metallic turquoises. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we want a sphinx bead. And then we want a silver bead. And then we want a bugle bead. And then we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turquoise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then a metallic turquoise. So we have, it'll focus, 3 metallic turquoise, a sphinx bead, a silver bead, a bugle bead, 5 turquoise beads, and a metallic turquoise bead, okay? We're going to bring that down. It's like that, okay? And remember on the first one how we skipped? We're going to skip that we're going to skip this turquoise, metallic turquoise bead, and we're going to go up through that very first turquoise bead right here, okay? And we're going to bring that through. Bring that up and through. Just like that. And then we're going to add, whoops, losing my needle here. Then we're going to add 4 turquoise, opaque turquoise beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 opaque turquoise. Trying to get it to focus good. It got so dark. Okay, and then we're going to add a bugle bead, a silver bead, whoops, a silver bead, a sphinx bead, and 3 metallic turquoise again. 1, 2, 3. So we have 4 turquoise, a bugle bead, a silver bead, a sphinx bead, and 3 metallic turquoise beads. Okay. Now, kind of tangled here. There we go. Okay. So now what we want to do, oh, I forgot to cut. I'm going to cut my tail here. That where I attached my thread. Let me get that out of the way. Now, we take that and we're going to bring that up through the neighboring second bugle bead. Those are really hard to see. They're kind of mirrored, so bring that up through that second bugle bead next to the one where you attached your first fringe, right next to it. You want it that centered in between the four, so you want to be only working on the two in the center, okay? Now, we want to bring our thread back down through the neighboring bugle bead and the beads that we attached, our first fringe part we attached. This is just like our earring, so come on down through that and then through to that second turquoise bead. So you want to come down to that second, because now we're going to attach our flower piece. So come down through that bugle bead. There's the 5 turquoise beads there. You want to be coming out of that, the two close to the bugle bead. You want to be coming out of that second one. Okay. Now, find my right direction here. Okay. Now we're going to make our little flower piece that goes into the little drop point. So we're going to put a silver bead, 1 silver, 1 metallic turquoise, and a silver bead on our needle. Oh, those two are stuck together. So a silver, a metallic turquoise, and a silver. And then we're going to come up through. Now you see how this is coming out? It's kind of far away. Sorry, I'll bring it closer, I think. It's coming up out of that one there, and we want to go into this one right here. That's the other second bead on the other side. So kind of basically just mirror your actions. And so just bring that through there. Okay. And you're going to have that effect there. Now we need to add a silver bead. Put on a silver bead. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your needle and you're going to go through that center metallic turquoise bead on your little flower. Okay, you want to go through that bead there. And it might look a little wonky. It'll straighten out. You can kind of give it a little tug. And then it's a little harder to do on the necklace because you're holding onto the chain. And then you want to pick up another silver bead. Pick up another silver bead, and then you want to go through, it'll focus, there we go. You want to go through the one closest to the bugle bead across from where you're working. See, your thread's coming out this way, so you want to go through that one. And you want to go through that very first one closest to that bugle bead. And be careful when you tug, because that bugle bead can cut your thread. So if you tug it, kind of tug downwards instead of up towards the bugle bead. Tug down. And that will add your little flower to your point. Like that. And I kind of like mine. I don't pull mine too tight because I kind of like how they kind of pop out a little bit and look a little three-dimensional. Now, we're going to bring our thread up through that fringe on the same side where our thread's coming out of. So we want to bring our thread up all the way up through. Bring it all the way through. There we go. And then we're going to bring it down through that bugle bead. We're working our way over now to the neighboring, because at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, so I got to work this way because I want to put my, I got to work this way because I want to put my fringes on these. So I'm working my thread over to the neighboring set of 4. Because remember, we want to have our fringes centered on our necklace. We don't want them to be uneven. So I'm just going to work my way through. I'm sorry, I'm kind of flipping it around and stuff. It's hard for me to do it without holding on to things. That one there. Oop, and careful not to get wrapped up in your fringe. Here we go. And then I'm going to bring it down. And the key is to go across like this. See, I'm coming across all those beads because when we come through, we want our, let me show you, you're going to come across. I don't think I can get them all in one shot. Nope. Let me get this on here through here. Okay, so, oh, I gotta hang on one more bead here. Okay, so that's our first, whoops, bump into you there. That's our first one we got there, our first fringe on there. Now we're going to come up and down and up through that bugle bead, and then you're going to be at the top here. And so you're going to want to go cross catty corner over to the base of that first one because you want to be coming down like this through that second bugle bead. So you're coming up through and then down and then up, and then you'll be coming through, and then you're going to go up and then down again, and then we're going to work on our fringe. So I'm going to come up this bugle bead and back down, because say, for example, say you ended up coming up out of here like that, well, you aren't going to be able to attach your fringe because you don't want your fringe going this direction. They all have to face the same direction. So you always want to make sure your needle is coming down through one of those 2 center beads, because you want your fringe to be laying properly the same direction for every single fringe. And we'll go through the fringe one more time here, and then we will probably wrap it up. We'll go through the fringe one more time, and then I'll show you how to get over again, and then we'll wrap it all up. So we need 3 metallic turquoise, 2, 3, a sphinx bead, a silver bead, a bugle bead, 5 turquoise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a metallic turquoise, just like that. Okay, we're going to bring that down like so, and then we're going to skip that bottom bead, skip that metallic turquoise bead, and go through the 1 single bead above the one you skipped, just the one, no others. And you can adjust it with your fingers. You can pinch that bottom bead and kind of adjust it. Always make sure that you're laying flush with your bugles up here at the top, because you want those to lay flush. You don't want gaps there where your thread's going to show. Pardon me. Now we want 4 turquoise, 1, 2, 3, 4. And basically you're just mirroring the other side, but you want this one. See, this one has 5 turquoise because that's like the point. See how that makes that point on that one? So we want 4 turquoise, a bugle bead, a silver bead, a sphinx bead, and 3 metallic turquoise. Now I don't know if you're going to use same colors or not, but You can change them up if you like. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't have the colors, you can always do solid. You don't have to do any metallics or anything like that. Although I will tell you that those metallics look really pretty. They look so pretty. I'm kind of like, I thought this black one up here was pretty, but wow, that one blew my mind. I love that kind of mirror shiny effect going on with that. It's beautiful. Anyway, enough about that. So I'm going to come back up the neighboring bugle bead from the one I came out and pull through. Let's be cautious not to get our fringe in there. Like that. And there we're going to have something like that. There we go. Now we want to come down into the bugle bead neighboring where our thread's coming in. See, our thread's coming out of here. And we want to go into the bugle bead next to that where the fringe is coming out of. And then we're going to go all the way down this fringe. Make sure not to skip any of the beads. And you want your needle to be coming out of that second turquoise bead. Make sure that needle's coming out of that second turquoise bead. Just like that. And pull through. This is where we're going to add our flower. So we want a silver, a metallic turquoise, and another silver bead. Silver, metallic turquoise, and a silver. And then we're going to go into, see across here, we're coming out of this bead right here, and we want to come through from the bottom up this bead, the second bead, just like we did that first one. So if I can get that in there like that. Okay. I'm going to come up from the bottom up through that second one below that bugle bead. Okay. And pull through. And that's going to give you your 3 on there. Now, oh, did that wake you up? That loud truck woke him up. And pick up a silver bead. And then we're going to come through. I'm going to pick this up so we can see it here. So pick up a silver bead and then come up through. I don't know if you can see that. Through, see, these are the 3 we just put on there, and we're going to come through that middle one, that metallic turquoise. Like that. Like I said, it's a little wonky at first, but it will settle down once we get that last bead on there. So we want to pick up a silver bead. Pick up a silver bead, and then we're going to want to go through the very first bead right directly below the bugle bead. And make sure you're working to the right of where your thread's coming out of. Or on that side. Because you might be coming out the other way. I don't know. It depends if somebody's right or left-handed. It all kind of varies how people do things. But just the opposite. And then we have our little flower. So pretty. Okay. Now we want to take our needle and come back up through all our fringe there. See, our thread's coming out here. So we got to bring our needle through all those and the bugle bead, just like that. Just won't focus tonight. Sorry guys, I'm doing my best. All that metallic and shiny stuff is kind of hard to film. The camera doesn't quite understand what's going on. You kind of want to give it a little tug. You don't want it to be too crazy. And that's going to be your second fringe. Now, like I said, we're coming up. Thread is, come here, needle. All right. So we're coming up out of this bugle bead. Up here. And so we want to come down the neighboring bugle bead. Don't go through any of the seed beads or anything. We're just hopping over to the next set of 4 bugle beads. Try not to get tangled in everything. It kind of, the necklace is a little harder because you have to work with all that. And then we're going to go up through the one next to that, pull it through. And so we're coming up out of this first bugle bead here, and we're going to take our needle catty corner through all these seed beads. Okay. Just like that. It's going to go all the way through those. I'm going to pull that through. It's like that. So now our thread's coming out of this X right here. We're going to pull our needle up through this first bugle bead like that, and bring it back down the second bugle bead. And that is where we're going to put our fringe. And you just keep working your way all the way down, all the way across until you've reached your center. Like, let me pull this back out. For example, like I said before, I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bugles in. And that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bugles in here. So I still have to attach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll give me 8 fringes. Because like with this one, I made this one to where it was centered, but there was opening on either side, and the fringes were only in that area, which I think it looks just delightful that way. I actually love it that way. And it looks really pretty on that way. I mean, you could go all the way around, but really, who's going to see these last back few? You know, if you have a collared shirt on or longer hair, nobody's going to see those anyway. You could do it if you wanted to make it really, really fancy. But I do kind of like the partial. I am pretty attached to those partial ones. I really like how it leaves a little bit of chain. It's kind of more of a little tease, you know, and it makes it really fun. But that, I don't even know what to call this. I guess I will call this the double point fancy necklace and earrings. And that is how you make that. I know it's kind of a longer video, but they're so worth it. This would be something that would be really pretty, I think, that would go really nice for, like, if you're going to a dance or a fancy dinner or a first date, or even just a nice, family dinner or something for work. Something a little more fancy and fun where you dress up a little more. It's not so casual. I really like the look of it. It looks so elegant and it looks expensive, and it's really not. And especially when you use these shinier bugle beads and some of the more of the metallic or maybe even translucent seed beads, it really makes it look very elegant. So that, my friends, is, and see, there's your earrings that would go with it. And that's how you make that. I hope you guys were able to make it. I'm going to finish the second earring and stuff. I'm going to finish this because it's just beautiful. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you were able to follow along. If you have any questions or comments or anything at all, please feel free to, leave them down below. I'm always open for any kind of comments or questions you may have. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I know it's been a while, so it's good to be back and making videos for everybody. I hope you guys have a great evening. Thanks for watching.